In past years, I've shared with you guys the state of BAYA, and I'm still going to touch on that tonight. But when I looked at our guest list, I realized we had a room full of a lot of new faces. And I think it's doing a disservice if I don't share with you all my why for doing this amazing program. For those of you guys who have been here over and over again for the last 12 years, you've heard my story. I'm sorry to repeat it again, but I know that you understand why it's important that I take this time to share our story. My family and I were originally from Detroit, Michigan. We moved here, I don't know, like 13 years ago, or maybe more than that. We lived in Evansville, Indiana, New Albany, Indiana. We're in New Albany now. We moved a lot. When we got here, we wanted our kids to find friends and family and just have a really good relationship when they got to school. Unfortunately, I have three kids. I have three 28, 25, and 21-year-old. Our middle child is our daughter. And when she got into school, unfortunately, she was bullied relentlessly. And when I say bullying, it was more like mental assassination is what I call it. That's my term. But that's when somebody chips away at every single part of who you are to where you're almost unrecognizable. And that's what my daughter was. I want to pause for a moment, and I'm asking you all to be honest with me. And I always do this because I love to survey the room. If you can raise your hand for me, if you were bullied in elementary, middle, high school, and I'm even going to say as an adult, raise your hand for me, and don't be ashamed. Thank you, guys. You can put your hands down. And bullying can be teachers, parent pressure, peer pressure. It's so many different forms of bullying. And I always tell my girls they have to learn how to cope with it now because it doesn't always change. You can be bullied as an adult. Sadly, I was bullied too. So I know what it feels like to sit in a room full of people and feel completely alone, isolated, and like you don't belong. And if I'm being honest with you guys, even at the age of 51, I still sometimes shrink and I feel like I don't belong in certain spaces. And that third grade voice that was bullied comes back and tells me, you're not good enough and you don't belong here. So I want to say to everybody that did raise your hand, I celebrate you, I see you, and I hope that you all draw something from the story that I share with you all tonight. For my daughter, Jasmine, the bullying didn't just stop at words, it lasted for years. And my baby became a self-harmer, so her vice was cutting. She would cut herself to ease the pain. Then came the moment that no parent is prepared for. My baby had a mental breakdown right in front of me, and she had an unsuccessful suicide attempt. And I always praise God every day that I can say that it was unsuccessful because we could be sitting here for a much different reason today. I remember asking my daughter, why would you want to hurt yourself? And she said, Mommy, why would I want to live in a world where people are so cruel? I cannot live my life like that. Those words didn't just hurt me, they changed me. Sadly, me and my husband had to hospital our daughter. It was the most difficult time of my life. There was nothing more painful for a parent than watching your child fight a battle that you cannot fix and that you cannot win for them. And it makes me emotional when I say that because I'm competitive and I like to win. I don't want to lose. And when my daughter was losing that battle, as a mom, how do I help my baby? Every time I share my story, it still hurts me to my core, but I do it because I know that my family is not alone. When my daughter came home, they had put her on so much medication that the anxiety, the depression, all the things, they did go away. However, my baby was no longer there. Her bubbly personality, she's a singer, she's a poet, amazing kid, it was gone. She was like a shell of herself. So this is the point in my story where I tell people, don't do what I did, but I took my baby off all the medication. I wanted my kid back. And of course, when I did that, all of the emotions start rushing back in, the depression, the anxiety, the self-harm, it flooded back in. I knew I had to take action. And this is where BAYA Beautiful As You Are was born. It wasn't born from a business plan or people say, Tish, were you thinking like it was gonna be this big? No. I'm a mom that was trying to save her daughter. And that was what I set out to do. I used to tell Jasmine all the time, you're beautiful as you are. You're beautiful as you are. Nothing needs to change about you. And she would say, Mom, you have to tell me that because you're my mom. And I remember thinking in that moment, my baby needs more than my voice. She needs a community of people that support her and tell her who she is and reminds her of her worth and how amazing she is. So I created a small group with 7 girls from my church. And as soon as we did that meeting, we knew we had something special. I think people in the room knew before me because I was just trying to save my kid. But people that were there were like, oh my God, Tish, this is going to be so much bigger than you think it is. What started out really small has grown now in the last 12 years into this beautiful movement that serves over 1,000 girls this past year. We serviced 1,000 girls with our program. That's in Indiana and Kentucky. BAYA is more than a program. It is thank you. Thank you. BAYA is more than a program. It's a lifeline. We meet girls right where they are, in their schools, their community centers, their community programs, at the BAYA Center, churches, anybody who invites us to come speak to their students, we go, and that's how we reach so many. We talk about hard things, bullying, anxiety, overwhelming emotions, stress, drugs, all the things, because you can't fix the problem if you don't address the problem. So we talk about everything. Earlier, I mentioned the BAYA Center, and I want to back up because some of you aren't aware that we have a brick and mortar. So we have a building called the BAYA Center, and I created it 6 years ago. I realized that when we got 6 years in, our girls were going home. They had the same emotions. They still needed support on the weekends. How do we do that? Well, I opened up the BAYA Center during the pandemic, believe it or not. And now we're able to service girls and their families. They have a place where they don't have to pretend anymore that they're okay. Because sometimes the difference between a girl giving up or holding on is simply just having a safe space to go. And that's what the BAYA Center has been. At the BAYA Center, they receive the foundation of our work, which is our empowerment workshops, but they also get to do dance and movement. That was Miss Kim that came down here. We do our You and Me Fitness, which is my friend here. It's amazing. We do high fitness, we do dance, all kind of fun things. And our new program, our Girls in Science program, led by one of our volunteers of the year, my friend, and sponsored by Duke Energy, our friends here somewhere. They pay for that program so that we can teach girls all kind of things, because to empower a girl, we're planting all these different seeds. That's what makes BAYA so special. That's why it's taken off the way it has. We are in 68 schools in our area. And those aren't just numbers. That's over 1,000 lives being poured into consistently every year. Our survey results show that 95% of girls feel better about themselves after they've been in our program. 93% say they have learned how to manage their stress, their anxiety, and their overwhelming emotions. 98%, which was 100, but I'll take 98. 98% said, yes, please come back to my school next year. Please don't close the BAYA Center. We need you. This is us pouring directly back into the families and our communities. If you've heard me speak before, then you guys have heard me talk about the ripple effect. And your donation allows you to be part of that ripple effect. Because when you help one girl, you impact a family, a school, a community, and then generations to come. I look at BAYA as cycle breaking. We break generational cycles. We break them by teaching girls hope and giving them purpose. That's what BAYA is all about. Many of you are already a part of our Ripple, and I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to ask my Butterfly Society members to stand, and you know who you are. Stand up. This is people that give, thank you, honey. This is people that give every month, or they give quarterly, but they give all the time. Stand up. My girls should be walking around with gold bags to give you. And when you don't sit down till they bring your bags. They're off their job, but that's okay. And so we don't have to be perfect. It's okay. But I got you guys gold bags this year because I want you to be recognized in this room. Make sure you look up there too. You got people standing upstairs too, okay? But I wanted to recognize you. On your bag, it says difference maker because you are a difference maker. I don't do this by myself. The BAYA team doesn't do it by themselves. We do it because we have people that pour into our program every single month, every year, every quarter, and we appreciate you. So tonight we celebrate you. So please give them a round of applause for me. And you guys will have a chance to join our Butterfly Society. You get a butterfly on our wall painted by one of our girls, so we appreciate you. Before I bring Avery back up, and Avery, I need to say this too. Avery is this is her first year, Director of Fund Development, and this is the first year in 12 years we have done an event like this where I actually left the building, went to the BAYA Center, I decompressed, and I got dressed because I put everything on her shoulders. She's done an amazing job, so give her a round of applause. Thank you. So I want to leave you with this. We could be sitting here for a much different event tonight. This could be a memorial or a celebration of my daughter's life who was passed because she took her life. But instead, it's a celebration of my baby's life. My daughter's now 25 years old. She has 2 degrees. She's working on her master's degree. She lives in Guam with her husband, and she's expecting her first baby. Oh, I almost cried. But this could be much different, guys. I went through it really fast, but that was a very dark season for our family. So when I celebrate my baby's still here. And there's so many other girls that are still here. They're still alive. They're thriving. They have hope, and they're successful because they've gone through our program. So tonight, I was able to change my daughter's life with the BAYA program. But tonight, you all have a chance to make a change by planting a seed and being a part of the BAYA Ripple. So thank you guys so much.